A small plane, 2 men, and a mission that was not only deadly, but seems impossible today. The Las Vegas hotel owner had a strange dream of keeping the airplane in the air for not hours, not days, but months without touching the ground. Here, it was not just a matter of fuel. This is the story of lack of sleep, the December cold, and a delicate balance between life and death. But the question is, were these 2 pilots really able to break this impossible record, or did their plane disappear forever somewhere in the blue sky? A strange incident that happened in history has been lost somewhere in the books today. In 1956, a man named Vernon Bell opened a hotel in Las Vegas, which was quite different from the other big casinos and hotels of the city because simple rural people used to come here. This hotel named Hacienda was not so expensive, and this was the reason that common people liked to go here. But because the profit was very low, Vernon Bell wanted to make his hotel famous. He used to think of new ideas. One day, an Army pilot friend named Bob Tim suggested him that if a world record is broken, it can make Hacienda quite famous. His suggestion was to fly a plane that can fly for months and not days without touching the ground. Varun liked this idea a lot, but will it really make the hotel famous or not? And most importantly, how will it be possible? Here it is important to understand that when the airplane was invented, its flight time was first recorded in seconds. It was important for pilots and mechanics to know how long an airplane can fly in the air. With time, the planes advanced and so did their flight time. And a time came when the matter stopped at the fuel tank, i.e., the bigger the fuel tank, the more the flight time. In 1923, the U.S. Army solved this issue by refueling a plane in the air from another plane. Just after that, the first record of endurance flight was immediately broken. The first world record was broken by a DA-4. The B plane broke this record by flying continuously for 37 hours after refueling 9 times in the air. After that, a new series of breaking world records started. America had a fever for endurance flight, and this record was broken 5 times in 1929 alone. But by the time Bob Tim was giving this idea to Warren, the power of this world record had been broken to a great extent, because now it was not about the limits of the engine or fuel tank of the plane, but about testing the physical limits of a human being. Bob Tim was talking about breaking a world record, which was made in 1949 by 2 Navy pilots by keeping the plane named Aaron Sedan in the air for 46 days, and their purpose was also highlighted in the media. Honda's owner Warren Bailey liked this idea very much to promote the hotel, and he requested Bob Tim to complete this mission because, after all, Bob Tim was a famous World War II pilot. Tim first went to McCarran Field Airport, and from there an Army 172 took off. He bought a plane and also hired a mechanic so that the plane could be modified for endurance flight. First of all, he removed the co-pilot seat because if Tom had to stay in the air for more than a month, he would definitely need a co-pilot, and both these pilots would fly the plane in shifts. One pilot would handle the controls and the other would sleep on the form pad kept in the co-pilot's place. He also removed the bench of the back row. In its place, an 8 square feet storage was made in which essential items could be kept, and a small sink was also fitted in a corner of the cabin so that sometimes a sponge bath could also be taken in the 4-foot-high cabin. After that, he also installed a 995-gallon belly tank so that apart from the wings of the plane, there would also be an extra fuel tank. An electric winch was also installed in this belly tank to fill fuel during the flight, which would be able to pull the fuel pipe up. He removed the co-pilot's door and replaced it with a folding door, which would give an easy way to reach the fuel port of the belly tank. Hanging from a flying plane can be seen only in movies, but it was a common thing in those times. Even till 1950, aerial stuntmen did many such scenes in which one had to go from one plane to another during the flight. To make refueling less dangerous, a small folding platform was also made outside the co-pilot's door, so that standing on it, the pipe could be connected to the port of the belly tank. And this platform was the only place in the plane where one could stand straight. Otherwise, there could be only a place to sit or lie down inside the Army 172. They also made many changes in the engine of the plane and wrote Big Hasi Egg on the outside of the plane, which was the most important objective of this entire mission. Now it was the turn to do test flights. Test flights began in the summer of 1958, but problems started arising one after the other. The co-pilot that Tim had hired earlier did not get along with each other. During the test flights, both of them often used to disagree with each other on some issue or the other. The test flight failed, the second one also failed, and in the third, both of them had such a quarrel that Tom fired the co-pilot from the job. The problem was in the exhaust valve of the engine, which was heating up repeatedly. He launched the mission thrice but failed miserably. Moreover, at the time when he was making his failed test flights to make a new world record, at the same time, Jim Heath and Bill Burka, famous pilots, had succeeded in making a new world record by staying in the air for 50 days on the same SAM 172 aircraft over Dallas. By December, Tom solved all the problems of the aircraft, and finally on 4th December 1958, officials of the International Federation of Automobiles FIA were also present there who were monitoring the mission. To avoid the accusation of fraud, Tim and his new co-pilot John Cook took off and came back to the runway so that a chase car could paint a special white paint on the plane's tires. If they tried to land somewhere secretly, this white paint would come off and the world record would be counted. It will not happen. After 12 hours, when the time for refueling came for the first time, both came on a predetermined road where a refueling truck was already present. As soon as the plane came in line with the road, the truck driver pressed the accelerator fully. When the Hacienda came just 20 feet above the truck and both were aligned, the co-pilot took out the winch and threw it down. When the belly tank was full, the co-pilot took out the pipe and threw it back down and flew in the sky again for the next 12 hours. They had to break the world record of 50 days, so this process had to be repeated at least 100 times. Tim and Cook kept flying over Las Vegas for a few days so that if there is any problem with the plane, the landing strip is nearby. But when everything started to look fine, they started spending a lot of time over the deserted plains of California. Fuel efficiency improves at high altitudes, but the temperature also becomes freezing, and due to modifications in the doors of the Honda, its insulation was no longer good. So to avoid the cold, they decided to fly close to the ground. Both the pilots had become good friends by staying together. Both of them used to spend time reading books, exercising, and gossiping in their free time. January 23rd. The time to break the record came closer. Honda finally started getting the publicity that Honda's owner Bailey wanted. On January 23rd at 3:52 p.m., Honda broke the record of 50 days. But after all the hard work and difficulties they had faced in breaking this record, Tim and Cook decided that they would not land for now. They should keep flying as long as possible. In this way, they spent 14 more days in the air. Finally, the plane was no longer capable of flying. On 7th February 1959, it took a full 64 hours to reach the ground. After staying in the air for 22 hours, 19 minutes, and 5 seconds, they finally asked for landing permission from the control tower of McCarran Field and landed the plane. At the time of landing, there was a huge crowd of press. The Cessna 172, in which this world record was made, is still hanging in the baggage claim area of Terminal 1 of McCarran International Airport and is telling its story to the people. You all will like and share this video a lot. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.